Welcome back, fellow knights. My name is Apollo, and we are another day closer to the release of Total War 3 Kingdoms. So CA has given me permission to cover the Yellow Turban Rebellion. In what better way to show off this faction than an epic battle against my nemesis, Jackie Fish. He's way over there. Look, he's got some, look at this, he's got some siege equipment and everything. So this is gonna be quite the battle, guys. So the Yellow Turban Rebellion faction is a DLC faction. You can get them for free if you pre-order the game. And remember, the game releases on the 23rd of May. So this month, we're very, very close, just a few weeks away. So the Yellow Turban faction, they are really cool, and I'm thinking about playing a campaign with them because I like how different they are compared to the other factions. Their interests into Taoism, and they're like of the people, so hopefully we can bring down China and change its ways, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I know this isn't a campaign, more of a custom battle, multiplayer battle, but really quick going over the points of campaign traits. So they're actually considered one of the hardest factions to play. So CA, they mentioned that if you're a new player, probably you should avoid this faction and play them a little bit later when you have a better understanding of the game, because nobody will really help you out in campaign until you've grown in the power rankings. So if you're trying to work with other factions, nobody's really going to want to work with you, which makes sense until you're powerful and they're threatened by you, and then they might, help you out. There's new warlords, there's new classes like a healer, a scholar, and a veteran. So that's pretty cool. They got their own special classes. They have a different tech tree, which is interpreting the 3 books of the Great Peace, which is a lot different from other factions. And they have skill focuses on the 3 virtues of Taoism. So really cool stuff. Let's go ahead and dive in, guys, and look at these units. And we'll check out Jackie's army, and then we'll start this one. So let's start in the front. I actually have a pretty balanced army. In the front, I've got 3 units of reclaimers, heavy spears that are really good at tanking damage. Not necessarily doing a lot of damage, but they can tank it and they can hold the line. By my cav and other archers, other units to have more time to do what they need to do. In the second line, I've got 3 units of Yellow Turban archers. These guys are decent. Way at the end, I am bringing 1 special unit here. It's a versatile unit because they're called Bringers of the Righteousness, which is a sweet name. They have bows and they have like a polearm in the back there. So yeah, pretty, or a glaive, a medium glaive. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I'm gonna use them as archers first, and then throw them into melee wherever or whenever they are needed. In the very back line, this is the heart of my army, and forgive me if I'm gonna mispronounce this. This is Venerable Wu, which is a light sword infantry. These guys are pretty nasty, and look at the headdresses on these guys. Look at that. That is pretty cool. That is really cool. I really like that. And then I also have really good swordsmen. These are the Scholar Warriors. Well-educated men who can, also dual wielding, can do some damage here. These guys are pretty nasty. So it's like the best unit I've got on the field right now. Let's go ahead and look at my generals. So I've got 3 different types of generals. I've got the Scholar over here. Look at this cav. Look at I love this, kind of reminds me of Native American, very similar kind of style there. But he's got some nice abilities like Vengeance. I believe this is a personal, not routing under fire. Yes, I'm still learning these abilities and what they do, if they're a personal, they only affect the hero or the units nearby. But we got Hail of Arrows, which hurts the archers of enemy armies. So you can see it does a bunch of debuffs. Over here we have Binding Fury, which is a personal use, I believe. Surprise Attack, which increases speed, melee damage, and armor piercing, which is really useful. And then we have Vengeance, which also increases melee damage in base and armor piercing. Over here, the next... Oh, by the way, his name? He-Man! He-Man! I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce it, but that's what I'm going to go with. Good old He-Man on the battlefield. Then we've got Pei Young Xiao. He is a veteran. He's a really good fighter. His buffs here, he's got Unyielding Earth, which gives him a plus 1,900% charge resistance and plus 100 melee evasion. That's really good. And then Wisdom of the River, minus 100 melee evasion and minus 100 armor. I'm pretty sure that's a debuff towards enemy forces. So yeah, he's pretty good. And then the final general over here, he is my healer, He he has, get it, he's got judgment, minus 50% melee damage base, and then he also has all fronts, which plus armor, melee evasion, and armor. So pretty cool stuff. I really got to learn how to use these generals wisely, but that's my generals. I also have some calves on the battlefield. I've got the yellow turban horseman, pretty decent, nothing too special there. And then over here I've got some shock cav, some lancer cav. This is the white wave horseman. Those guys look pretty cool. And then over here I've got more yellow turban warriors ready to set up an ambush. They do have a decent amount of vanguard capabilities. Here's another white wave horseman. So those are my forces. Let's go ahead and look at Jackie Fish's army. We'll start with his cav. He's got 2 units of the sword guard cav hidden in the trees. At this time I could not see this cav unit. Over here he's bringing a lot of spears. Heavy spear guard. I think it's all heavy spear guard. So he's going with a very defensive build. He does have some like infantry, like these guys have glaives here. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Protectors of Heaven. What a name. So these guys will do a lot of damage on the flanks, but I think his goal here is to hold, really rely on the archers, which he's got just standard archers in the back. It's really cool. I love the black and red with these guys. And then he's got his trebuchet, the four trebuchets. So he's going to rely on his projectiles and being able to hold the line to defeat me. I assume his cav is going to try to do some work like hammer and anvil to try to defeat me. Excuse me. And then here's another Protectors of Heaven. My goal by looking at his army is getting my swordsman into the fight as soon as possible, because I'm pretty sure my swordsman can chew up his spears. Back over here, his general's got Yang Xiao, or Yang Xiao, which is who I'm actually playing as in the head-to-head against Heir of Carthage. So pretty cool to see him on the battlefield, which he's got some nice abilities. Stone Bulwark, plus 100% range block chance. Wow, that's really good. Unyielding Earth. So yeah, he's also got that as well. Let's go over to the middle where he has Zhao Yu, which he has the Wisdom of the River and Unbreakable. And then back over here we've got, oh yes, look at this, we've got the God of War himself, Guan Yu. So you guys know Guan Yu. He's really good. He's got some nice buffs, nice abilities. Look at this horse, nasty. So let's press play here, guys. At this point of the battle, this is when I just discovered his artillery, and I was like, oh god. Actually, maybe not even at this point. I always kind of wanted to be aggressive. I was kind of hoping he would kind of meet me on the battle. Here we go. Oh, nice juicy hits. I was hoping he would meet me on the battlefield so I could kind of easily set up this ambush where they would be kind of, you know, behind the ambush. But unfortunately, by glancing at his army, here comes some fiery balls of justice coming down on my yellow turban boys. Woo-wee! So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to charge him because I have no business sitting back and getting killed from a distance. That's okay. He mostly took out my spears. That's fine. My spears, I can sacrifice them a bit. But I got to keep my swords alive. And that's why I've got them way in the back so they don't get hit by the arrows or anything like that. So this is pretty brutal. And this is when I give up my ambush, and this is where he can spot my units. I go ahead and move them up because I'm going to need every single man attacking this defensive position that Jackie Fish has set up. I'm keeping my cav back here hidden for as long as possible, trying to keep some kind of surprise troop to get maybe behind his forces. He's moved up his archers. Smart move there. I didn't really notice that. And he's going to be able to lay down some suppressing fire onto my army, and that's going to do a ton of damage. And there they go. There they go. These archers are very deadly, and they do a ton of damage. So I'm just standing here in place, and I'm just taking it like a champ. Oh, thankfully a lot of that artillery missing there. Unfortunately, doesn't miss my archers. I'm now moving up my archers. Let's do some slow motion here, guys. So you can see it's just raining upon my troops. This is very unorganized, very, very poorly executed by me, and I'm losing a lot of men to the bombardment of, look, I mean, just fly through here. Look at all the arrows through the sky right now. It's gonna be nasty. Finally, my archers are in range, and I'm gonna give him a taste of a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. I don't think my archers are gonna be able to compete with his because I've already lost so much to his bombardment from the artillery and also the archer bombardment. I've now moved my 2 cav cav units this way. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to normal speed. I'm going to go ahead and charge them. Counter charge. Ooh, juicy. Nice little charge there. I'm actually sending over reinforcements to help. Again, let's do some slow motion. So I was going to try to dedicate most of my melee cav over to this side and keep my shock cav over here, keep this cav contained. Again, really making sure his cav does not run free around the backs of my army, or that's going to be disaster for my force and game over. So let's keep playing here. Oh, yes. I got the language in Chinese or Mandarin. So yeah, they are just opening fire. My troops are blobbed up here. This is a dumb mistake on my part, and my archers are already breaking. I am running out of time, guys. I need to move. Here comes the third unit of cav coming over the yellow turban horsemen. And then we have Yang Shao moving over to support the fight. That's their commander. He's probably doing some buffs and whatnot. But hopefully this turns the tide of this little cav battle. I can win this one and support the infantry that are now making a move, which you can see the infantry back there. He sent in his general. I'm going to go ahead and send in my veteran warrior as well. Look at this weapon. This big old mace. Oh, by the way, guys, I didn't mention this. This is romance, so I'm sure you could tell. It's not really a huge difference between romance and records. So here we go. Finally, I'm moving up my army. Look how sad this looks. So let's do some slow motion. My army's looking pretty bad. For some reason, I guess because I was so focused on the cav battle on the flank over there, I lost so many troops. So many troops at the beginning here, and it's not looking good. So I realized, okay, I've got to get my swordmen into this fight. I cannot wait any longer. And I just kind of moved up the infantry as one solid line because I didn't really have the luxury of being able to hang units back to protect my flank. Over here, the swordsmen have clashed with these protectors of heaven, which are going to massacre my turban warriors. But that's okay. If I can just keep them in place for a while and buy time, that's all I need to do. And I think I'm also I'm moving up more shock cav over this way. So really trying to put a lot of pressure on the flanks, but at the same time, oh, check this out. Look at this. Here comes the clash of infantry. But he's going to stand his ground. He's most likely going to get in a defensive position, which is fine. Come on, guys. Don't just stand there. Uh-oh. No! Charge! There they go. Charge! Damn you! And it looks not too promising, but trust me, guys, my swords are very skilled. He is flanking around with the protectors of heaven. This is what I was worried about, so I'm actually sending my spears over. So thankfully I did have somewhat of a reserve force I could send over and protect the flank of my men. But these protectors of heaven need to go. They have to go. And I am winning the cav battle over here, thankfully, just by sheer numbers. And because of that, I'm going to, well, first off, chase down his cav, but also try to get over to the protectors of heaven and crush them from behind. Get a nice hammer and anvil charge upon them. But unfortunately, he's making a smart move here, charging in his cav. Even though they're going to die here, they're going to slow down my cav and buy more time for the protectors of heaven to just sandwich in my infantry. Look at back to back, my infantry is fighting for their lives. They're doing very well in the center, though. Spears are kind of tanking some arrows right now. But they're doing pretty well, especially the Scholar Warriors. Really chopping up the spears. Now, look at this. My archers, I think they still have some ammo left over. Which, yeah, they do. But this is a problem. They have one on the flank. And the protectors of heaven are like untouched. Just a little dent in their armor, and they're about to charge over and support the main battle line. My archers are going to get some volleys off, but I'm going to quickly tell them to change to their melee, or maybe I get a couple more. Let's do normal speed. A couple more volleys. But I noticed that the protectors of heaven coming to charge my archers. That's fine. That's okay. These guys are meant for melee. Remember that. But again, I think I'm just trying to use up as much arrows as possible because I don't think these men are going to survive this engagement, but they can hold them back and buy some time. There they go. Protect. Oh my God. Protect the lines. And these troops came back from routing, which is great because it's letting me surround the protectors of heaven. But it's not like that's going to break them or stop them. So that's pretty sick. Pretty awesome battle. Back here in the center, things are looking pretty well. I'm not losing, and that's a great thing. Over here, I was able to flank around my spears, and now I'm kind of surrounding the Protectors of Heaven. Look at the center, just breaks, instantly breaks. And now I'm just pushing in my men and trying to use these deadly swordsmen to crack and crush his forces. So again, let's do some slow motion here really quick. Well, let's get some close-ups here. Let's try to enjoy it a little bit. We'll do slow motion as we look at this battlefield. So it was really, really good that I was able to break through the center so quickly, because everywhere else I was just falling apart. I was losing on the flanks. I lost the skirmish phase. I mean, that artillery bombarded me to death, but I am winning in the center, and that's giving me hope. My generals have joined the battlefield. A little bit of a duel. I agreed. He offered some duels, but I agreed to none of them because I was terrified. Again, I don't really play romance too much, so I never know like when's a good time to accept a duel and who can beat who and stuff like that. And I saw Guan Yu and I was like, I don't want to phase Guan Yu. So they're fighting each other, but they're not dueling. Unfortunately, a big break right here by my Reclaimer Spearman. That's okay. General nearby watching. I got my Cav kind of running amok in his back lines. This is the victorious Cav that won on the flank. Again, just trying to find any opportunity to run down his archers or get a hammer and anvil in the back of his infantry. In the center, things are still going pretty well. We've surrounded these archers who've now taken out their secondary weapons. Jackie Fish has sent in Zhao Yu, which is a strategist. He's not really known for fighting, so this could be a good opportunity of killing him, getting him off his horse. And the Protectors of Heaven are taking a little bit of a beating here. They are going to defeat my Bringers of Righteousness. And what these names in, Protectors of Heaven, Bringers of Righteousness. That's amazing. Yeah, it's a pretty intense fight, but I still think they're going to win. You can see that they've done a lot of damage. I'm charging in my generals now. I'm trying to support this fight as much as possible. The healer is in the fight. My scholar is into the fight. Look at him. Yeah, get him, boys. Get him. Meanwhile, the center is collapsing, and I am taking this center. I am breaking Jackie's spears, and things are looking really, really good. Very nice. His generals, though, are focusing over on this flank. I think Jackie's trying to win one of the flanks of infantry, and this is his best bet. Again, if we do slow motion, you can see that I'm pretty much spent over here. I do have a couple units who broke and have returned, so I need to make sure I get them back in the battlefield. Also got some Cav over here who broke and returned, so let's do some nice little charge here in the back of these archers. They don't have any ammo left, but still getting them off the battlefield is going to do me wonders. Yes. Break them. Kill them all. Very nice. So it's good to know that I have some Cav left over. He also has some Cav left over who have been running down on my troops, making sure they don't return to the battlefield. So I've really got to take care of them because Cav is nasty in this game, like most Total War games, and you want to make sure you don't let them roam free. There we go. He's charging in. You got Yao Xiao. I'm terrible with these names. Don't worry, I'll get him eventually. Big break over here, breaking the rest of his spears. He still has his Protectors of Heaven. I was going to say dragons. But they are actually pretty low in terms of, like, they've taken a lot of damage here. Pretty depleted. So I'm not too much threatened by them anymore. And his generals are really taking a beating here because they don't have a lot of infantry support. I've completely won on this flank. We've defeated the Protectors of Heaven, and they no longer can protect heaven. And so we're going to go over to the other side of this battlefield, send everything else I have in here. He sent in his Cav. You can see the Cav have now joined this fight. I'm now trying to rush in my Cav, and just, this is where the battle is becoming pretty desperate. A mosh pit of a struggle, where I am just trying to make sure my men do not break and I can clump up my troops because I have the numbers at this point and I need to try to defeat them. Now I'm sending both my generals after their commander. Come on, man. Get him. Get him. Hit him. Those big old maces. Now my infantry is joining this fight. These are the Bringers of Righteousness who kind of defeated the Protectors of Heaven with the support of the generals and some infantry. They kind of defeated them. And now we're just in... it's still a really close battle. Look at the balance of power. It's dead even. We got an intense general fight. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, good hit on Guan Yu. Get him, boys. Surround him. Outnumber him 3-2. I think I killed the other general. Oh, no. The other general's over here. But he's very low. He's a strategist, so he's not much of a fighter. There we go. Just trying to take him off. Get him off the battlefield. One of our generals have fallen? Oh. We kind of missed it, but I think Guan Yu just like one hit one of my generals with his abilities. So Guan Yu is just so good. So they're fighting it out, but that's all right. I can afford to lose a general. I think it was my healer, unfortunately. And now I've got some of the bringers of the righteous chasing him down. And Guan Yu breaks. He gets the heck out of there, as that is a losing battle. But it was a Pyrrhic victory. Very rough fight. I love how the flags are left in the ground. So what happens is the soldiers carrying the flag will stab it into the ground when they're getting close to melee, so that when you look at the battlefield, it's just a bunch of flags everywhere. Pretty cool. Let's end the battle and look at the results here. But I was actually kind of surprised I was able to turn that one around, and it's really all thanks to my infantry. Really, it was the Scholar Warriors and these guys. I forgot their name. The Wu, I forgot the name, but yeah, these guys are both really good. All of them getting, except for one, getting over 100 kills. These swordsmen not doing so hot. Some of my spears did all right. My cav did pretty solid. My archers pretty much did nothing except for the versatile like spear / archer unit, and then very good kills with one of my lancer shock cav. So pretty good. Again, I think if I could replay that battle, if I was just a bit more aggressive, I think I could have saved more lives there. I was really blown away by how great my swordsmen and how effective they were against Jankyfish's army. Jankyfish, of course, pulling in a lot of kills with his archers and his trebuchet. His spears not really doing much there. His protectors of heaven, but no surprise, getting a ton of kills. And his cav doing mixed, where some did pretty poorly, the others did pretty well. So that's gonna wrap it up for this battle, and hopefully this gives you a good view, a little bit of a view at the Yellow Turban Rebellion faction and how they play out. But you know, I got a lot to learn about this game, and I've really been enjoying it. So I'm excited for the next battle, which I should have a pretty epic siege battle coming up, so stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the battle, and I'll see you next time on the battlefield.